Greetings everybody, I am back. I took a little break and I wanted to make something new. I wanted to make a little highlight video of the regional. This here is part 1, covering round 4, 5 and 6. Because sometimes it can be a little bit hard to watch all the 8 or 6 hours or whatsoever. And that's what I want to try out here. We have some lovely footage of Prague, as you can see up there, and I love Prague. Unfortunately, I'm not there, but let's dive into the action. First, I want to start with the meta. First, we have the juniors. We don't see juniors here, but I still think it's interesting. We have Alakazam on top, Dragapult, Lucario, Dragapult Nord, Dragapult Blaziken, and we have Meganium. I think it's an interesting meta to see, especially all the Alakazams. Let's go to the seniors. We have Dragapult, and Dragapult in the top 3. Then we have Lucario, Garchomp, and Mewtwo. Also very interesting, but very, very Dragapult heavy. And then we go to the very interesting part. We go to the Masters Division. We have Straight Pulled, we have Blaziken Pulled, we have 7% unclassified. Very interesting. I'd love to see what's going on there. We have Garchomp, Lucario, and Alakazam, all with 6%. That's about the meta. Let's go to the first game. We see here, first of all, the prize cards. Both of them have nothing too crazy beside their A-spec. There we have the Fist Bump, and Raz is going first. Starts with an Ultra Ball to grab a Meowth, get the Meowth into Lily, and that's the... No, I think one more Dreepy is coming down. Yeah, no, yes, one more Dreepy and one more Energy, and there's the pass. And Ryuki is gonna start with the same as Raz. Ultra Ball, throwing away an Ultra Ball for a Meowth, and grabbing that Lily with that Meowth. Attach for turn, another Dreepy goes down, another Dunsparce, very interesting, and then we see the Lily. For another fresh 8 cards here. And we're going a little bit, jumping a little bit forward. You see Ryuki has took a prize card here. And Raz is starting developing his board more and more attached to the Monkey Dory. We see the Blaziken is there. We saw the 2 Recon Directive already used. Adrena Brain to the Badoo. And now we see the Dunsparce is promoted. So Raz uses his Blaziken with the Seething Spirit ability to attach another Psychic Energy to the Dracloak, retreat into the Dracloak, and then for the Dragon Headbutt here on the Dunsparce. So even without a Dragapult, Raz was able to grab 2 prize cards in this turn, giving a little bit of the edge. And now we see another Pokepet. For a Dracloak, coming down, evolve it, and a little bit of consideration here. And going for another Pokepet to grab another Monkey Dory. Good for pushing more and more damage to your opponent's side. And now I skipped it. We got some Recon Directives here. We see an Ultra Ball again, throwing away that Patch Run and a Dragapult. to grab a Meowth. With that Meowth, straight coming into play. With the risky wounds, of course, 20 more damage on it. We get the Crispin. Yes, Crispin for the energy acceleration here. And Ryuki now going aggressive. Evolving that Dragapult. Pushing more and more damage to the opponent's side and knocking out both Dracloaks here. And Raz has to see what's going on, but Raz has the Lily's Clefairy first. Try to establish more Dreepies. Get some backup on that one here. One Dreepy to the bench. To damage, of course, with the risky runes. And now we will see another Poképet for a Dracloak. Getting ready, preparing yourself for the next turn here. And the Lily just came down. Big threat for the Dragapult here. Now we got the Crispin. 1-2 on that Lily's Clefairy. Getting ready for the knockout here. Another Ultra Ball we see for Finning, and then we get the Unfair Stamp. Yeah, I cut the whole shuffling, so that's most of the cuts here. Or if it's a little bit underwhelming or uninteresting. So Raz considering the stadium bump here and brings in the jamming tower for not making and leaving more damage on the board. Looking where to put all of this. Yeah, Raz just doesn't want to leave much damage on the table here. Another attachment with Seething Spirit. And then we see the knockout on the Dragapult here. So 3-3 on price cards. Ryuki has to see. Problem here is no energy is attached. No energy is already attached to the Dracloak. Means Ryuki needs that Crispin right now. Pass just came and there's the pass. Yeah. And that's huge. Like, and the boss for game. That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, Raz asking for the time. And let's go to the next round here. Let's see the price guide. I think this one not too crazy. And Ryuki starts strong. Badu in front. A Buddy Puffin, and Raz starts with a Meowth, which is even worse than starting with a Fez. This is just yikes. It's just yikes to see that. Pass by Ryuki. And there is actually not much to see. We will see a Lily. Fresh new 8 cards. 8 fresh new cards. And we see coming down one Dreepy with a Ultra Ball. Right, yes, it was the Dreepy with an Ultra Ball. But that's all of it, because there we go. There's the boss and the scoop by Raz. 1-1, and we go into game 3. 1-1, still plenty time to play here, and we have 3 Crispin on Ryuki's side, and they are all free. He plays only 3 in his deck, and this can be very, very nasty. So Raz starts everything off with a Dreepy with a Torchic and an Ultra Ball. Getting rid of that for Lily and Night Stretcher for that Drug Cloak. Anticipating the incoming item lock probably. And there's the pass. Ryuki starts with a... what is it again? It looked like an Poképad. Yeah. Starts with the Poképad here. And yeah, there we see it again. 3 Crispins. That's hard. That's really, really hard. Like, so yeah. Then we see the Lily. Lily brings a Buddy Puffin. Makes the bot look way, way better. And another for good measurement, you know, like, yes. Now, full board here, but on Ryuki's side, attach for turn Evita with that free retreat and that itchy pollen. So Raz goes straight into that Dracloak and Lily here. Fresh 8 cards and they looking great. Absolutely great. 2 Dreepies out of a Lily while being item locked. Magnificent. It's just magnificent. I think that's what you can say. Bring them down and boom. And nothing more. There's the pass to Ryuki and Ryuki straight goes into the Dunsparce and a Lily here. 8 fresh new cards. 1 Recon Directive. Another Poképad. Slams it right down. Back to for that Dracloak. Another Recon Directive here. And let's see what's coming here. A Psychic Energy and yes. So a little explanation here. Ryuki got a warning in one game for insufficient randomization and that resulted in a 2 price penalty, unfortunately. Like, that's tough. Like, that's so tough. I think Ryuki had a really, really nice board state here, but that's just cruel. That is just cruel. Because Ryuki is, it's just so hard. Like, it looked very good for him, but the 2 price penalty is just, it's just there. So another Lily, another 6 card this time, only 6 cards here. Dracloak, Recon Directive, we have the Risky Wounds, we have the Evital. Ryuki's checking his discard pile. Like, he has to cook right now. He has to cook or this thing is done. It's done if nothing good comes out here. 20 to the Torchic. No, to the Dracloak. Phantom Dive onto the active Dragapult, 60 on that Dracloak. And yeah, and boss for game. And boss for game. That's it. Yeah, very unfortunate for Ryuki here. The 2 price penalty was really a neck breaker. Very, very unfortunate. But I know if you had these things once happen, those things will never happen again. Hopefully, of course. But let's dive into the second game here. We have Julius Brunfeld against Jung Jiao Hu. We have Julius with a festival lead and Jung Yao with Arboliva. I think this is a pretty fun matchup here. Let's see how things work out. There's the fist bump. Let's go. And Yong Yao starts with that little olive on the bench. There's the pass. And Julius starts strong. Like, he goes now with the bug catching set. So, bug catching set for 2 Grookey, I think, is the name in English of that one. But we're not done here. Down goes the Buddy Pop. For 2 Applin here, making a nice board state here in the first turn. Lovely to see. Checking a little bit what's more here. And Jung Yao just conceded the game. He even shows his cards. It's a dead hand, like dead. Like, yeah, completely dead. Nothing to see here. Like, that was a quick game. Game 1 for Julius Brunfeld. And another, nothing too crazy here. 2 Buddy Puffin on Julius' side and a few energies on Jung Yao's side here. Starting with the teal dance. Another teal mask coming down, and that's the pass. Julius again starts with the bug catching set for a Applin and a Grookey here. Good start of that. And goes with the Dawn for a Shaman and a Diplin. Yeah, a little strange inclusion here since you don't really play stage 2, but still very, very valuable in this deck here. Grabbing your another basic Pokemon and another evolution Pokemon for the next turn. Amazing. Jung Yao goes with an Ultra Ball for the Bayleaf here. Evolves it straight to it. Yeah, and yeah, little misplayed first the tree, then the Meganium, but everything went well so far. Another teal dance on the active one. Playing that Pokepet here. Grabbing a Hoot. That Hoot for that strong Noctowl engine. Playing another bug catching set for an Olive and an Energy. So that little Olive is coming down. Another teal dance here. And we're going for another bug catching set. The evolution of the Olive and a teal mask here. That Forest of Vitality straight into that Arboliva. Of course, the Shaman blocks damage to the bench here and goes for the knockout with that teal mask Ogerpon. So now it's Julius' turn. He has that Thwacky in hand, he has that Diplin in hand. He has actually everything he needs right now. He has the energy, he has the Brave Bangle. Yeah, little tidy up here. The Brave Bangle comes down. Only thing that is missing are more Pokemons. But there's the Lillifor, 8 new cards. When you have 6 prize cards. And now we see there is another Grookey. There is a Buddy Puffin coming down, filling that bench and using also the Force of Vitality of the opponent. Yeah. little ruling here, little bit of explanation on the table. Using that opponent's stadium to get that Twacky right down, getting that Twacky probably the festival ground. Hard to tell since you don't have to reveal it, but here we see it, the festival ground. A little misplay, I wouldn't say misplay, but maybe not thinking that I wanted to use that force of vitality again, but bumped the stadium. So yeah, but I think Julius is in a good position right now. He's not too concerned, I would say, like, because there's everything he needs. He has the Brave Bengal, he has enough Pokemon on the bench, and that's the knockout on that Teal Mass. Let's see what Yong Yao is having in his bag. First of all, let's start with a Teal Dance. Yes, why not? Drawing cards. And the Fez. Let's go. And the judge is coming down. Little hand disruption here. And I cut out the whole shuffling thing. It's amazing to see how much time you cut out just by shuffling. And there's the attachment for the Arboliva. Now we see the Fez, and the Fez brings us a Poképad. And with the Poképad comes the Noctowl, and with the Noctowl comes a boss's order and a unfair stamp here. You can see it again. Did I? Yeah, I cut that out, unfortunately. I'm sorry for that, but it was a boss and a unfair stamp, another Teal Dance, and this is a little bit bad because Yong Yao just used 2 disruption in 1 turn. Yeah, he bring down his opponent to 2 cards, but for which cost? Like, that's a little bit tough. So now retreating into that Arboliva, knocking out that Dipplin, and have another prize card here. Julius now going with the Goldeen in the active, using right away that Twacky. Twacky goes for that Gold King. Yeah, Gold King. I'm sorry, I'm still learning all of the names. It's kind of, sometimes that can be a little bit confusing. Another Twacky here. Twacky this time going for that secret box. Now you could see it. And evolving Goldeen to Gold King. It's actually pretty nice because now you only need 1 attachment, a colorless, and goes again for that Dawn. 1 Applin, 1 Dipplin. And here we go, we got the attachment, and now we got the attack, double attack. That makes 120 on that Arboliva. Yong Yao now has to look what to do. And sometimes you can really see Yong Yao really just has those moments where he just looks at the board and like looking kind of what's going on, what can I do? And I know that as well when the game is looking bad and I'm just staring in my cards and then back on the board, back in my cards, and that's kind of what you saw here. So boss's order on that Twacky, reducing Julius' search possibilities here, and he goes with that Gold King in the active. Another Grookey, of course. And there's the Twacky. You can play it as long as you have some Pokemon with Festival lead in active, with the ability Festival lead, and now he's actually going for a great turn. He's playing that Black Belt training. That's 40 more, and that's exactly 200 with that Gold King. 60 plus 40 makes 100. Times 2, that's 200. That's a knockout on that Arboliva here. First I thought that was the Acerola's Mischief. Looks kind of, but I think it's the promo card from the trainer toolkit. That's why it looks so unfamiliar for me. There's the Stadium Bump going straight into, no, first the Lana's 8, grabbing some Pokemon, the whole Olive line, except the Arboliva, since this is an EX, but grabs this one with the Night Stretcher. And thanks to the Foes of Vitality, there comes the Olive, there comes the bigger Olive, and there comes the huge Olive, or the Olive tree, let's say. Attached on that, retreat into that, and knockout on the Gold King, I guess. Yeah, that, yeah. So again, looking a little bit, what can I do? What can I do? And let's see what is Julius having here again. Julius actually having a great game here. Looks now even on price, but it was a really, really tough. And you can see he has the secret box. Considering what to discard with that. So now, so Julius now with the secret box, having everything in hand. There is a boss in hand, there is a Night Stretcher in hand, there is now the Brave Bangle in hand, the Festival Grounds. Yeah, so there's like everything he needs. And that was a convincing game match by Julius here. Let's go to the next match. And I love to see. So we have Adam Lashko against Salvatore Camioli, with Adam with a Archaludon and Salvatore with a Alakazam. Two Abras actually priced here. Not the best start, I would say, but let's see how things work out for Salvatore. Alakazam is a pretty fast deck. It can work around few things, and when you start getting your first knockouts, it just starts snowballing. So Adam here, not much to see on that one. Attaching a air balloon and 2 air balloons on his Pokemon, bringing up that Carmine, which unfortunately brings not that much in energy, and that's the pass. Salvatore going now with that Fan Call, grabbing the Dunsparce, grabbing a Abra with that Pokebet. Playing now the Hilda here, I think it was Hilda, for that telepathic energy and the Dunsparce. Realizing now that there are some Abras priced, but still going with one more Abra, and those 3 the Dunsparce going with the pass to Adam back. Bringing that Pokepet for another Duraludon. And there's another pass by Adam. Salvatore bringing down that Kadabra. And looking if there what else to draw, because that's what you want to do with Alakazam. You just want to draw, 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 and draw. Yes, so now bringing down that Dawn for a Alakazam, a Genesect, if you haven't seen it, and a Alakazam, Genesect, and the Dunsparce. Little discussion here. So yeah, Alakazam comes down. We got another Kadabra here. 2 Kadabras now established. We have another the Dunsparce established. Second the Dunsparce is coming down. And yeah, with that board established, 2 Kadabras, 2 the Dunsparce, and the Fenrotom inactive. The pass Adam brings the boss's order, comes with the Raging Hammer here, which is perfect. 80 damage on that Kadabra is a knockout. And goes back to Salvatore here. So Salva knocked out the Duraludon. Adam bringing up his Archaludon here with his what is it? Astonishing Alloy ability. Allows it to attach 2 metal energies from the discard pile on his steel Pokemon. And yeah, so and now this is how that whole thing kind of goes. Now, of course, Salvatore now needs to bring back some Kadabras, but you can see he has 2 rare candies here. He has the Alakazam, draws cards, yes, of course. And that's actually how the whole thing now continues. Salvatore plays his game, draws cards, while Adam is just trying to catch up. Yeah, so we see there's like so much drawing of cards. I cut it out, of course. I try to keep it small and quick here. So yeah, Salvatore just goes for another knockout. Then Adam establishes backup Duraludon and just continue that whole spiel. And yeah, so that's the knockout on that Archaludon. Quick recount if it fits. And yeah, Adam again brings back 1 Archaludon, retreat, knocks out the Alakazam. Salvatore again bringing the Dunsparce here and drawing cards. And knocks out the Archaludon. Yeah. There we go. Again, recount. And knockout. And then yeah, and now looking if you can re-establish another Archaludon, and there's the scoop goes match 1, game 1 to Salvatore. Going into match 3 now. Let's see the prize cards. Nothing too crazy, just both have again the A specs. I don't know what's going on today, but today, or on this day one of the Prague Regional, there were so many A specs, but that was actually crazy. Adam here with a way better start, having 3 Duraludon right away on the board. One he got with that Poképet attachment, and there's the pass. Salvatore just draw a Dunsparce, go straight in his fan call ability. And we see the Dawn coming down, grabbing a Abra, the Dunsparce, and Alakazam, bringing down that Abra to free the Dunsparce and the pass here. So Adam tries to go aggressive, grabbed the Archaludon with an Ultra Ball, and had 2 energies able to attach. And yeah, that's how it goes now. Like, there is the knockout on Adam's side, and then there will probably the knockout on Salvatore's. That's, as I said, that's how that whole game. It was a knockout fest. Like, there was not much to consider. Just on Salvatore's side, grab all those cards you can get here and just draw, and draw. That's the whole thing here. Draw. The Dunsparce goes in the deck. And after all that drawing, you eventually draw into everything you need. And you have the rare candy, you have that Alakazam, I saw that Pheasantipede, I saw a Buddy Puffin. We're just going back to square one here. I would say we have enough energies already, not energies, cards for the knockout. Yeah, counting and knockout. Yeah, Duraludon coming down. Fast. Energy, search for the energy. And then it goes again. Attachment and Duraludon, bringing the rest of the energy. But it's hard to keep up on that because Salvatore and his Alakazam, they always going for those big knockouts. 300 is not that much for this Pokemon, and while Adam only can get 1 prize, Salvatore just takes 2, and again 2, and again 2, and just keeps flying. Another attach, and then we see. And yeah, here we go again. Adam knocks out the Alakazam, and Salvatore just draws more and more cards until he has enough to knock out another Archaludon here. So what I thought is still worth considering is that Meowth play here with that Sorosix coming down. Great counter play against Alakazam. It needs the right timing, but the problem is if your opponent has everything in his hand to close up the game, because Salvatore is considering what 3 cards he needs to win the game. It is Sacred Ash, Enriching Energy, and a Boss's Order, if I remember that correctly. And it's actually everything he needs. We come to that. Yeah. We have another Archaludon knockout on the Alakazam. And now we have to look what's going on. So, we have the Alakazam charged. We have the Sacred Ash bringing up more cards into, because we need 9 cards to knock out that Meowth. And since Salvatore has this boss's order, that shouldn't be no problem here. Fetch another 3 cards here. Keeping all those cards in hand probably, I guess. Just want to draw more and more cards. Just counting if everything adds up. Yeah, counting the deck, of course, if there's enough to draw. Looks good. Enriching on energy on that Dunsparce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Enriching is 4. Yeah. Great. And the Dunsparce only with that enriching energy. And now we need to see, yeah, little count, boss's order, and that's game for Salvatore. Yeah, I actually expected, or was expecting a little bit more from that. I don't know what I did expect, it was more. But yeah, the Alakazam is just too strong. Like, it's just straightforward. And yeah, that's all of it of part 1 so far. And that's all of it. I've done my first part. It was actually way more work than expected, but I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and part 2 is upcoming. But as I said, it was way more time than expected, but I think it's better to make those parts part-wise, you know, because this is almost a 1-hour video, and this is only the half of the day 1. So I think best way is to do 1 part of the first 3 rounds, of the second 3 rounds, and I might gonna make a whole part on the championship Sunday or day 2 or whatever. I might think. Leave a comment. I would really appreciate your critique or your advices if you have anything. It's the first one. I really tried. I've even had myself some things I didn't like that much, but I think I got my mission done. I tried to make it a little bit condensed, a little bit more together. So yeah, see you next time. Peace.